Hello, and welcome back to Baby Elias's stories. We now return to Blade Runner 4, I and Talon, by K.W. Jeter. Chapter 6. Bad night? The chat had greeted her as soon as Iris had walked in the door of her apartment. As the bolts of the automatic door locks snicked into place behind her, she nodded, eyes closed. Not the best I've had. She dropped her ring of swipe cards on the floor and lay out on the couch. Stripped by the first pearl gray light of dawn, sliding through the blinds on the barred window. The couch wasn't long enough to stretch out full length. She had to curl her knees up into a semi-fetal position, which suited her bleak mood. Tea? The round face of the chat bobbed close to her own. Hot and minty fresh? No thanks. Right now, she didn't feel like rubbing her hand across the chat's smooth head either, and leaking a transdermal endorphin buzz into her central nervous system. I'm fine. The chat wobbled away and returned with a fall hand-stitched comforter, which it managed to tug into place over Iris. She helped it out, pulling the hem up under her chin, though her impulse was to pull it all the way over her head, sealing herself into a soft, dark womb. That's great. She managed a wan smile at the worried-looking, autonomic creature. Look, I'm okay, really. Sure? The chat appeared dubious. It had never seen her like this before. She hadn't gotten the thing yet when she had been going through the roughest parts of the departmental training, and had been afraid she would wash out of the program and wind up back on the streets. Yeah, lied Iris. Don't worry about me. Go get in your basket. She pulled a hand out from beneath the comforter and pointed to the corner of the apartment's front room. Sleep and stand by. She watched as it reluctantly did as she had ordered. That's a good boy. She lay a while longer, head turned so she could gaze unseeingly at the irregular islands and continents of the water-damaged acoustic ceiling tiles. Then she raised her head from the sofa's saggy end cushion and told the phone on the side table to get Meyer for her. Will do. The phone ran through its security out protocols, speed dialed, and then extended its headpiece toward Iris. Here you go. What's the problem? Meyer's voice, both harried and sleepy, sounded in Iris's ear. It better be good, calling at this hour. Like you don't know? She let the curved strap dangle loosely from her hand, rather than snugging it tight across her skull. What the hell have you gotten me into? The phone was silent for a few seconds before Meyer responded. Look, he said, just do the job, or don't, but don't ask any more questions either. You son of a bitch. From the corner of her eye, Iris saw the chat cringe in its basket, alarmed by the anger in its owner's voice. This is some kind of weird, deep shit you got me walking through. And if I'm going to get to the other side with this stupid owl you're so hot on, then I'm going to need some help.
Like what?
Don't worry, said Iris, her voice bitter in her own ears. I won't ask you for information. I've got another source for that. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Meyer was silent again, for longer this time.
Go with it,
he said finally.
You can trust the guy.
Oh, that makes me feel a whole lot better. Coming from a lying sack of shit like you.
So this is what you needed?
Meyer's voice sounded more wary than angry over the phone.
To dump on me? Fine, you got it. Anything else?
Yeah, there's something else. Jesus Christ. This job isn't going to be a piece of cake.
Didn't think it would be.
So I'm going to need a little hardware upgrade, said Iris. Something bigger than I normally carry around with me. I'm going to need you to okay an armory draw.
No can do.
The emphatic shake of Meyer's head was almost audible through the phone line's real-time X-script sequences.
Ugh. Look, Iris, we're trying to keep this whole operation on the quiet. If I let you pull out of the station armory the kind of equipment you're going to want, I know you when it comes to stuff like this, then it's going to be all over the department in no time. That kind of paperwork gets redundantly routed to every division, every level. I can't do that for you.
You can't do it officially, then fine. I don't give a shit about the requisition forms in triplicate and the rest of the paperwork. Get the stuff out the back door to me. That's all I'm asking.
That's all?
Meyer exploded, his shout barking out of the phone.
Are you insane? What you're talking about is misappropriation of departmental property. Secured departmental property. That's an administrative felony. Class Alpha, sanctions for which include but are not limited to rank demotion, forfeiture of accrued retirement benefits, and monetary fines.
Don't cite the rulebook to me, Meyer. I've read it.
Then maybe you read the part about what else the Internal Investigations Division could do to me, which is basically to drag my sorry ass up to the roof of the station, put a bullet through my head, and toss my body over the side. And they get a gold star in their own personal files for having taken care of the incident in such a neat and expeditious manner.
Meyer's voice simmered down a few degrees.
You know the department runs a tight ship, Iris. They have to.
Iris sat up on the couch, letting the comforter slide down onto the floor. And what do you have to do, huh? Tell me that.
What are you talking about?
I'll make it plain for you. The phone sweated in her fist as she talked to her boss. Do you want this owl or not? If you do, then you're going to get me what I need, no matter what it takes. If you got a problem with that, then you can find somebody else to go bird hunting for you. Another few seconds of silence, then Meyer spoke again.
All right, he said. I'll get the stuff out the back door to you. Give me a list.
She had already been thinking about that. When she had finished telling Meyer her requirements, she held the phone away from her ear, expecting another explosion from him. Instead, she got a weary sigh coming from the other end of the line.
This is nuts. said Meyer's voice. We'll both wind up taking a dive off the top of the station.
Don't worry. Iris kicked the wadded up comforter away from her feet. I'll return everything in good condition.
No, you won't.
Meyer sounded resigned and defeated.
You'll get yourself killed in as messy a way as possible, and I'll wind up holding the bag for it.
Spare me. Self-pity doesn't suit you. She stood up from the couch and walked into the center of the apartment's front room, the phone trotting beside her so she could keep the tethered headpiece to her ear. Giving me this job was your idea, remember? Standing beside the barred window, she looked out at the first of the day's rains, soaking the crowded traffic in the streets below. How soon can you have the gear ready for me to pick up?
You think I'm handing this kind of stuff over to you in broad daylight? Get real, said Meyer. Tonight, and it won't happen at the station. I'll ring you with a stash point location. I'll be there when you swing by for it.
I'm not expecting anything from you, Meyer. Not anymore. She killed the connection and the X-script protocols and tossed the headpiece to the phone waiting beside her. It climbed onto the side table, settling down and switching itself off. Play? Quality time? The chat trotted beside Iris as she headed for the apartment's minuscule bedroom. Cuddle? Not now, said Iris. She had given the window blinds their programmed hand signal, shutting down the whole apartment into darkness. Dark enough by which to get some real sleep. Later, I've got to get some rest. Inaction and fretting had tired her out more than a dead-run chase could have. Big job to do tonight. She was asleep and dreamless. As soon as her head hit the pillow, Outside, the hard LA sunlight, grayed by its passage through the monsoon clouds, turned the rain to steam against the window glass, but couldn't find her. Intercut.
This should be good, said the remote camera operator. She's got all the right toys now.
The blue-tinged glow of the wall of video monitors turned the operations bunker into a subset of the neon-lit LA streets. Outside, night had consumed the rain-sodden scraps of day, pushing the city once more into its true and most authentic mode of being.
Could be.
The director roused himself from his deep, meditative silence. She's always had the right attitude, smart enough to be scared, but too pissy to let it stop her. For the past quarter hour, the camera operator and the director had been watching an interesting transaction take place, recorded and brought to one of the central monitor screens by a unit hidden in the exposed and cobwebby ceiling rafters of one of the abandoned Traction Avenue warehouses. Down by the concrete ditch of the Los Angeles River. The monitor had shown the female Blade Runner they had been following, her black leatherite jacket glistening from the rain, accepting what looked to be two metal cornered briefcases from her boss.
Watch out,
the man named Meyer had told her with a trace of sarcasm.
They're heavy.
Even on the monitor screen with the remote camera set to an elevated long angle, the slit-eyed look of disdain she'd given him had been apparent. They're supposed to be, she'd replied coldly. It was as well for the director's purpose that the woman didn't pop open the lids on the flat cases and check out the lethal gear inside. The camera operator figured that the sequence they'd been able to catch at the police station where Meyer had surreptitiously extracted the items from the armory lockers, established sufficiently just what weaponry was involved. Anything that the audience wasn't clear on would be made plain when the hard action started. The camera operator pushed himself away from the angled control panel, reverse arching his spine with his hands shoved against the small of his back. A similar creak had lodged itself in the hinges of his neck vertebrae. That was the problem with these marathon gigs. Too long sitting, too long watching, all to catch the quick little moments that added up to the real story.
At least she's not going to waste any time, the camera operator said aloud.
Up on the wall of monitors, one screen over from the one inside the abandoned warehouse. A wasp-like motorcycle with bubble, fairing, and retrofit exhaust waveform obliterators was picking up speed, silent and swift, heading back into the densely packed heart of the city. Cold blue street lamps glistened from the metal corners of the case. Strapped behind the rider, leaning over the insignia-less tank. The woman rode without lights or markings, the better to arrive at her destination before anyone else knew she was even on her way. The camera operator nodded in appreciation. For both the black warped and darkness visuals that the monitor held, and the inadvertent convenience the female Blade Runner's haste provided. Maybe we'll have this part wrapped up in the next couple of hours, with any luck. Luck doesn't enter into it. Still watching the monitor screens, the director slowly shook his head. Only fate. He turned his unsmiling gaze toward the camera operator. And once we've got that under control, the director shrugged, then our job's done. The camera operator didn't like the sound of that last bit. This job, he thought, is getting way too creepy. He looked back up at the monitor screens, and to the one screen in particular that showed the place where the woman would soon arrive.